Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. We are back from the Bassmaster Classic and almost didn't get back, honestly. We are back in a winter wonderland. In fact, I feel like we have more snow now than we've had all winter. Man, Sunday we got dumped on. Actually, we got dumped on the day we left, which was Wednesday of last week. Got back on Sunday and almost didn't get back. The only reason we did is because we flew out of Madison, Wisconsin, which was about an hour and a half south of where I live, and they got rain. And on the drive back, it completely turned over to slushy. I mean, we probably got 6 to 8 inches of the heaviest snow you can imagine. Needless to say, the lakes, which were starting to open up, the ground, which was completely free of snow, is now completely covered again. I'm wishing I was back in Texas. Man, what a tease. Anyways, I thought I'd do a couple of quick, just kind of a couple of quick thoughts on the classic. I know we did a video yesterday with the kids kind of talking about the overall experience and what we did, but there were a couple of things that I truly feel like are either positives or negatives. I mean, some of them are good, some of them are bad, and it really just are things that surprised me more than anything. And there's really no particular order to this, but I'm just going to go down. I've got 5 things that I thought were interesting. The first, and the first one really I thought was a big mistake on Bass's part. I'm sitting in the airport trying to get back. Live coverage is over. It was probably like 4-ish, and I'm sitting in the Dallas airport. Live coverage is over. The weigh-in hasn't started yet, and I'm flipping through my Instagram, and what I see is a Bass video that came out, and it was a news release, basically, or right at the end of the live show. They cut to one last big thing. One of our anglers is making a move, and they go show the lake view. They zoom in on all the heads, and they kind of are like, who's it going to be, right? And at this point, the tournament really had gotten much tighter. Several anglers were doing well. Easton and Fothergill had not yet really sealed the deal yet, and they're letting us know that there is a big fish alert. And then they cut to Easton catching that 8-pound fish. And to me, that was a huge snafu on the part of Bass because, man, live coverage was over. If you want to give some sort of breaking news, just say one of the anglers that we expect to be in the Super 6 has just caught an 8-pound fish. If you say that, all of a sudden, almost every angler who's in that final 6, all of a sudden could have the weight to win that tournament. But by showing us that it was actually Easton, and I know it was a huge fish catch for the tournament, huge fish catch for his career, I just feel like you lost all the dramatics of the weigh-in as soon as that happened. Now, maybe that's just me. I think you could have left us with a teaser saying a big fish was just caught. In fact, an 8-pound fish was just caught, and all of a sudden everyone's going to want to tune in for the weigh-in. Instead, the weigh-in, you knew who was going to win going into it. So that was surprising that Bass did that. I don't think that was a super great move on their part, just in terms of a viewing number. So that was one thing. I do want to point out, as we talked about in the video that came out yesterday, that the Expo is a fantastic place for families. My boys had an amazing time, and I wasn't even with them most of the time. I mean, I was with them actually very, very little. My wife Sara was with them. They were walking around in little jerseys. They were walking around in cowboy hats. They had a blast. There is a ton to do from a family environment. They've had a lot of things outside that the kids could actually be hands-on with. Inside the show, vendors are looking to give away freebies, whether that's a sticker or whether it's baits or like spin the wheel of fun type stuff. For kids, it was really, really a phenomenal event. And it's one of those things that, they had a blast. They want to go back. So I highly recommend if you're a fishing family and you're looking for something to do, you can absolutely build a trip around this event without a doubt, especially when you go to a place like Dallas that has you know, the stockyards, Legoland, Video Game Hall of Fame, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it really is a place families could go. Now, having said that, the third thing that was kind of odd to me, and maybe I completely missed it, I don't recall hearing any Expo announcements, meaning generally in the past, there'll be like somebody gets on the loudspeaker and says, "Hey, head over to the Skeeter booth at 1 p.m. because there's going to be an autograph signing there with Skeeter Pros," or "Head over to the Yamaha booth at noon because there's going to be an autograph signing with pros." Maybe I missed it. I'm sure it was posted in places, but I don't recall hearing any announcements during the entire show for anything that was going on. So as a vendor, you definitely want that. Like that's one of those things that um it, it just is a great way to draw attention to booths and things that are going on in the show. And if people aren't aware of it, that's how they find out about it. So if there were announcements, I guess I missed it, but I was at the expo for 2 full days and don't recall ever hearing any sort of announcements. Maybe there were some, maybe there should have been more if there were some. Uh, Another takeaway, if you are a big bait, glide bait, swim bait fisherman, the classic I feel like is turning. The expo is turning into like almost like a glide bait showcase. I mean, some of the best, most well known, most exclusive baits are there. I mean, if you're looking for like KGB was there, Piz Swim Baits was there, Clutch was there, uh, Black Spirit was there. This is a cool one. I'm excited. This is the Black Spirit Chapter 1 Defiant kind of collaboration. I mean, does that not look sweet? So, I mean, like I definitely filled my carry-on bags. We can tell you that. So yeah, I mean, if that's something that interests you, you can get things at this that you would have a very, very hard time trying to win on drops on these swim bait makers, social media pages. And then the last thing that I just want to point out too, and I know if you go through social media right now, there's definitely the sense that Bassmaster dropped the ball with the weigh-in for a lot of different reasons, but I do think there was a major, major issue. I guess what I would say is if you can have the weigh-in and the expo in roughly the same place, that's going to be the best no matter what. Because there's so many things that happen when you're a big distance apart. Like I think this was roughly 10 miles apart, which is not that far distance wise, but you're in a major metropolitan city. And depending on when that is, that could be an hour commute. Not to mention when parking was tough to get already, it takes a long time to go from the expo to parking to the new place to get new parking to get into the event. So there was a lot of people leaving the expo earlier than I thought normally, which is never a good thing. You had a lot of fans that were unhappy that they had to spend $30 to $40 for parking at the expo and then had to pay that for parking at the weigh-in. And then ultimately the weigh-in just, I mean, it went till 8:30 at night, I think was that on Friday? I don't remember. It cannot go that long. The weigh-in, this is my opinion. The weigh-in, you should have the expo end at 4. The weigh-in should be over at 5:30, 6 at the latest to allow people to go to dinner at a decent time, and then I'll give them the time to go and enjoy the rest of the events, whether that's special parties or whether that's just they want to go out on the town. The point is when the weigh-in goes till 8:30, people haven't even had dinner yet and are not going to go out and do anything. So I definitely think there needs to be something to shorten that up, whether you just make the focus on the weigh-in and start it earlier, cut the day of fishing down to 7 hours, pick a closer venue. You cannot have that weigh-in going that late. And you cannot have it going that late when it's that far away from the expo because you just I mean, I know I talked to a ton of people that were at the expo. They had plans to go to the weigh-in. They were at the expo till like 4 o'clock, and they just said, "You know what? We're gonna go get dinner. We're gonna call it a night because we don't want to be out that late." or they had other things to do. There were other events they wanted to go to that were going to be a heck of a lot more fun than sitting at the weigh-in. So Bass needs to figure that out. I really, I know they're getting hit pretty hard on the coverage. They're getting hit on the weigh-in process, and I'm not saying they don't deserve it. They do in this point because I really think that they dropped the ball on that. But as a nutshell, it's still the classic. It's still a great time. If you're a bass fishing fan, you need to be going to this. I mean, it is a you no other place do you have the chance to basically meet every person within the fishing industry, whether that's legends, whether that's current anglers, whether that's YouTubers, whether that's social media people, whether that's industry folks, whether it's companies. Almost everybody is there, it feels like, in some form or fashion, and you never know who you're going to run into. Uh, and if you love the sport, you should be going to this. So those are some simple takeaways that I had. I'm sure I'll think of some more, but it's a great time. We had a great time as a family, enjoyed it, exhausted, but great time. So let me know in the comment section if you went to the classic, what were some of your thoughts? Or if you watched the events unfold at home, what were some of your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Thank you again for your continued support. Stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out tomorrow.